There he
Oh,
is. Perfect. We got it to work. All right, perfect. But thank you everybody for joining. This is episode 13 of Sister Soul Sessions. We are joined today by a wonderful tattoo artist. I've been really excited to speak with him, Mr. Walt underscore Dubbie.
thank
So welcome.
Hello.
I am one of your co-hosts, Brittany. I'm joined by my sister.
I'm Amanda. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, episode 13.
Yes. And we're joined by our special guest. Well, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about your business, how long you've been in that business, and whatever else you want us to know.
All right. First off, name is Walt Dubbie. I'm a tattoo artist, personal, I guess, designer for other things as well, multiple different things, but artist all the way around. I've been in the tattoo game for almost about like 10 years now, so been doing this for a minute. Shit, that's about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
No, yeah, I've seen your work, so the time it definitely speaks to how good it is. So I'm really excited to have you. I have a lot of questions about your style of art. One
Okay.
being, I see that you do a lot of like grayscale, which I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
So like, how did you get into that? Is that like your specialty? Is that all that you do?
Yeah, that is all that I do. I got into black and gray. I tried color at first.
Mm,
The appeal of it was a little bit too messy for me, so I didn't like the process of it and how the way that it takes like sometime a while to actually rise in the skin and to saturate like color into skin. So it takes a little bit more of a tedious technique, depending on your approach and your color waves that you end up using. So naturally I mess with color, but when it came to tattooing, I got a lot more busier when it came to doing the black and gray, and there's a
okay.
lot more I guess you would say like different styles that you can still approach even with black and gray.
Right,
So
right.
Okay. So how long have you been tattooing?
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah,
Okay, that's a
it's a
long time.
decade
So
now.
did you know that you were gonna be a tattoo artist? Like how did it start? Like did you was draw like the draw or
Yeah. I started back, it's 10 years ago. Back when I was younger, I knew that I was going to tattoo. I just didn't know that it was going to be the first thing that I did.
Mm,
Like, I originally wanted to get into fashion first.
okay.
So that's what I was like inspiring to do for school and stuff like that. And after like fashion and stuff like that, I wanted to get into tattooing. So it was always an idea, but it just ended up coming a lot faster than what I expected.
I do see you like to put it on. I
Oh,
do
yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
Every day I see the video, he puts it on. So were you
Yeah.
designing clothes
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
okay.
I've been designing clothes and like customizing clothes since like early middle school. So
Oh
that ain't
wow.
nothing new. So yeah, back when it wasn't even cool, you know what I'm saying? Back then people
Hmm.
like slightly called it dusty and stuff like that. But now that's the new in thing, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's
Hmm.
drawing on clothes with
Right,
markers and airbrushes and
right.
stuff like that. So I had already been doing that stuff all the way back in 2007, 2006. Was already into like designing tees and jeans
Right.
and like bleaching them and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been doing that for quite some time.
Yeah, my daughter, she loves doing the bleach art on her shirts and everything. So everything in my house has bleach on it, but
She done
but how do you
found a
transition
style.
then? Yeah, no, she loves it. But how do you transition from designing clothes into actually making these grand designs and putting it on people's skin? Like this is a permanent thing now.
Yeah, yeah, very permanent thing. It's consistent, way more consistent
Hmm.
now. So, but it's a lot more expression out there. People are more accessible to it now because of the internet. So that
Okay.
does give us a better plane of like people being able to be exposed or seen. You know what I'm saying? So it does make a difference on how people get to catch on to like things that they like or things that they could be into because it's
Right.
more shown now. Back when we was coming up, it wasn't like
yeah, I
that.
was just gonna say how do you keep up with the way that everything is changing and
Hmm.
transitioning, everything is on social media. So how do you keep up with all that and balance it
Um,
out?
typically I've always had a knack for just being up on like, you know what I'm saying, the newer things and like what's to come. And typically I'm a little bit ahead of the wave most of the time period. And that
Same.
was also a struggle like in my but that's a struggle
Yeah.
in my career because
Okay.
me being on trends and well, not trends, but understanding lifestyles and approaches towards things, I start focusing on styles a lot more heavier before that was the actual thing of demand.
Right.
You know, so like that was something that I had already honed in on, but it was hard for me to like book people because my style and
Yeah, you
certain things
stuck
that I was
with
approaching
it.
on,
Yeah.
yeah, they wasn't into it
Mm.
yet. They wasn't hip on it. So you know
Everybody
what
would
I'm
just
saying? People,
wanted what they saw, right?
yep.
Like, yeah, pretty
So
much
people
popular
being
tattoo.
hip, yeah, people not being hip to it makes a major difference of like how your following goes, how like your clientele will go as well. Because if you ahead of the wave, only certain people are really open minded like that. You know what I'm saying? A certain percentage are typically followers. They're gonna go off of what is popping at that point in time, not their own personal expression. That's
Right.
another thing that kind of like then lacked with the internet, coming about at this point in time. Back when I first started, people had way more creativity and ideas,
Right.
like way more. People used to come with crazy ideas and dope concepts. It wasn't possible for a lot of them to be done,
Yeah.
but just where people's minds,
Yeah.
just where
The
people's minds
imagination was
were.
there, yeah.
Yeah, but now, shoot, people just bring a picture to you, like, here,
Oh,
this is
the
what I
same
want.
tattoo,
Like,
right?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, the
right,
same
right.
tattoo. So it ain't no
Same.
creativity there. They just see somebody else's inspiration and they go off for that now. So it's take and give on that.
With that, how do you continue to find your creativity with it? Like, how do you stay fresh and like make sure that you're doing stuff that is new and staying on trend with that?
Reinventing myself.
Okay.
I don't like things that I don't like to do too much that everybody else is doing. So like always finding something of a lane of something where I know like I'm pretty much a rarity or something that you know what I'm saying is a high demand because it's not too much of it. So typically I look at what's being happening and what's not happening. So the things that what's not happening is a little bit more important to me than what is happening.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what, so what do you call your style of art though? Because I noticed like so I don't know the terms. I watch Ink Master, but that's as far as my tattoo knowledge goes. But like you have like this like form, it looks like dots
Yeah,
almost
it's
on the
called
skin. Like
stippling.
okay.
It's
Like
stippling,
yeah, I've
lip
never
shading.
seen that. Okay.
Yeah,
I love it.
originally, I mean, it's used in several different styles, but what made it grow and the people who honed in on it that originally came from the UK. I like a lot of like
Okay.
things that are outside of the United States. So
Okay.
originally how I came across that style was appeal of like me following UK artists and stuff like that. There was a UK artist named Little B and his style with that shit is phenomenal. Like, and it blew my mind the first time that I seen it. And I was like, oh, I gotta learn how to do this.
Right.
I was like, this is capable. Like, this is the style. Like, and it drew to
Yeah.
me really, really strongly throughout all the other styles that I experimented with throughout over the years and developed. But this was the one that I honed in on finally and was like, all right, this is me. Like, finally
Yeah.
found my lane that was for me.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, it's beautiful work. And I see now you found your following that they seek you out for this style because yeah, it's very unique. It's awesome.
Yeah, I like how he creates content. When I was looking at his page, I was like, oh yeah, he
Yeah.
dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was
Appreciate
like,
that.
he dope.
But
Appreciate
It's a
it.
nice
how hard was it to like get into shops and stuff? So I know, a young tattoo artist, you're just starting out, obviously you just like artistry, but how do you turn that into like now I'm a businessman and like I have clientele? Like how does that switch?
Okay. Like, so you want me to answer the first part? Like, how did I get
Whichever.
started? Okay, correct. Well, how I got started in tattooing when I first got started, like going around to different tattoo shops. First off, we are part of I'm in the Midwest, like so
Yeah.
Kansas City, being in Kansas City, Missouri, predominantly it's a lot more white artists here. So I was coming up during a time period to where the internet still wasn't really a big thing. And getting into shops, it was still more of a gatekeeper kind of thing. It was nowhere near the amount of exposure of what it was now. So
Yeah.
back then you had to go in and actually prove yourself. You had to come in with portfolios. You had to come in with work to actually show that you can reference and do things that were similar to a tattoo style
Right.
and not just the art style. So when it first started off for me, I probably spent about like 2 years circling around Kansas City,
Wow.
visiting every single shop before getting accepted to anybody. I still got a whole bag of cards from all the way back from
Oh, wow.
2010, 2011 of me going around collecting like all of these shop cards and places that I sat down with artists, had drawing sessions and stuff like that with. So that's originally how long ago it started for that. And your second question was, let me get to that part.
Yes, thank you. But no, but yeah, how do you, so now you're in a shop, it took you about 2 years. How do you transition now? And like, okay, because you know, you have to get your own clientele still. It doesn't matter that you're in a shop,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
so now you're a business. Like, how did you transition yourself into like that part of it?
Well, it's kind of like a part that goes into tattooing when you're in the shop. But typically, if you work in a walk-in shop, which
Okay.
back then was a lot more heavier than what it is now with like private studios and just making one-on-one sessions with people in emails. So back then, you just kind of show up to the tattoo shop, pick somebody, pick stuff on the wall still, or like come with ideas. So back then, the transition of when I finally got in there kind of came easy because people were naturally flowing in, new faces all the time. So I was just placed in a place. It places you where you need to be pretty much once you get into a shop. Like as long as that shop has the proper exposure and foot traffic that you need as far as like people consistently coming in, it'll slowly but surely build up your clientele.
Oh, good. So it's kind
So
of like when you go to the
you
barbershop.
like being, yeah. Let's go. So, what is have you had a challenge, or what is your biggest challenge that you have faced, if you haven't faced one yet, in your career being a tattoo artist?
My biggest challenge was getting my license. Getting my license. I got played around with a lot of stuff like that. I had apprenticeships that didn't go through, money that was spent that, you know what I'm saying, went to waste and stuff like that. So yeah, it was an off and on thing about me getting my license and stuff. It seemed like nobody wanted to give it to me. Like they was pretty much trying to push me out.
Wow.
You know, so I had to fight for that. So through several different shops and stuff. So getting my license was the biggest thing. For the longest I wasn't even licensed. I was just tattooing. And then I finally shoot for real. Like I got so good at it.
Congratulations. That's what's up.
No, that's
Congratulations.
awesome. Yeah, you
Yeah, I
pushed
got
past
so
that
good
though.
at it to a point in time to where I guess like I got tired of like not being able to really get put on. And so the shop that I finally ended up going to before they even knew I was in there tattooing without even a license. So, and I ended up winning my first award without a license.
Oh,
So it kind of
wow.
let me know that I was supposed to be here. You
Yes,
know what I'm
for
saying?
real.
So
No, that's
that was another
amazing.
thing.
So like, well, now, like
Yeah.
y'all gonna give
And
it
then
to
after that, then after that, I surely got my license, like
Mhm.
literally directly after that. So
People
I
were
got my
calling you,
first award.
huh?
Yeah, I got my first award without my license, and then after that, like I think like less than 3 months later, I got my license finally. So
Wow.
Okay.
And still, I still needed time. That's crazy though.
yeah,
But yeah,
Congratulations to you.
seriously. Yeah, everyone
thank
say
you.
congratulations. But yeah, how did you even push past that? You already going into shops where you the minority, like you said, you feel like, and then they're not giving you, you know, what you know that you deserve. Like, how do you push past that?
Shit. I mean, my mama ain't raised no quitter or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Say
So
that, right? Go ahead,
that's
mom.
that's just really more the thing about it, me being
Yeah.
determined. Plus, I don't like people telling me no when I know I'm tight. Like you ain't gonna be able to tell me I'm not tight, especially for a lot of tattoo artists. I feel like that when I stepped in, I was a threat to other tattoo artists,
Right.
because I could outdraw a lot of their asses. Like for real. Like I used to come in and have sessions with them and stuff like that, and I was freestyling, drawing stuff off the top of my head, and I could just outdraw a lot of people, and I was cocky about it.
Yeah.
So that was probably another.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It is when you coming into other people's lanes. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to humble yourself to a certain extent, especially if your assets stay healthy. You know, but I didn't understand that at first. Sure, I was coming from a point in time period to where I'm just like, well, this is what I do. Like, like you either get with it or not. But you know, I had to figure that out like a little bit more the hard way, because I was very confident behind myself stepping in. Like I wasn't faking on that, because proof was in the pudding. I'm like, shit, put that paper down and that pen, bro. I'm gonna kill this. Like, so that's how I was stepping in. So.
But yeah, they didn't like that. So you were Coach Prime of the tattoo world. I see.
Yeah.
I
Look,
see.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Like real cocky. So.
But yeah, I mean that's the thin line though of knowing when you're having that God complex and just no, you can't tell me anything else. Like, I mean that must be difficult, especially when you are outdrawing them. So
Yeah.
it is a lot of just hate right off the bat. We talk
Yeah,
about hate a lot in these lives, just different industries, but yours is so direct because you can see, apples to apples. So,
yeah. But I didn't think it was gonna be like that entering into the art world. So that was
right,
a kind of like a cultural shock to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the one place that I thought that it was like everybody was together. Like, you know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? Like it was communed as a family because we all artists. A lot of artists are pretty much like weird
Yeah, you're like,
people
oh,
or outsiders
it's
and
free
stuff.
and
So
creative. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I'm stepping into a realm where, you know what I'm saying, these are my peers and brothers and sisters amongst this. And it's just as warful as any other field that you can think
Right,
of.
right, right.
So that was a real like a shocker for me, but something that I had to like get past because all this from what I knew before getting into tattooing, all artists that I came across and became friends with were like good
Right.
people. People like that was real cool and stuff like that. So once
Until
I
you
got
became
into
competition.
yeah, once I got into tattooing, it was just like, nah, people will really try to like mess up your career. People will really try to,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying, like not let you get on, not let you get your sign. And I wasn't used to that. I ain't never been a person to try to hog light at all.
Right.
It's enough sun for everybody. So,
Man, you said a mouthful right there. Without saying a mouthful, because nobody want to see you win. There's enough money out here for everybody,
Hmm.
but to each his
yeah,
own,
They like
Keep
you doing
pushing.
good, but not better
Right,
than
right.
them.
yep, that's the
So,
truth.
and that's the hard part, especially when you're, like I said, you get to see, like, dang, okay, he is tighter. And now their clients, you guys are in the same shop. That's something that, gives them a little tight. So, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, I never thought about it. I mean, like I said, I watch a lot of like Ink Master. That's my show. I'm going to reference that a lot. But, to realize that, yeah, because you want the money, this is like, you're paying for your booth rent right there. So you definitely don't
yeah,
want some young hot kid coming in there and now they getting all of the new
yeah,
clients. So
yeah. That
right,
I didn't
no one
think
can
of it
stop
that
what's
way.
meant for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, you came in like she said. No one can stop what's meant for you. You came in anyway without the license. You had to
Right.
get the award because it was already destined, and that was the way you could show them. Like, well, I can show you better than I can tell you. Then y'all don't have to put me on. I'm on anyway. So that was good.
oh, most definitely. I had to take charge and make sure that I was gonna do what I said I was gonna do. That was
Mm,
another thing too. I like I set myself to a goal and I don't like failing. So no matter how long it's gonna take me, I'm gonna get it done. So
yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
I can
part.
relate to that most definitely. How long it take? I'm gonna get it done, and
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great.
yeah,
Because what else are you doing anyway? That's what I always tell people. Like, why are you not
Right.
going after your dream? Because what else are you gonna do? You're just gonna
Next.
think about it, feel regret, over it. So yeah, go after it, keep it pushing. It doesn't matter how long. But I want to go back to what you were saying about you being ahead of trends and stuff because with everything changing so drastically, like I'm seeing tattoos that are, glow in the dark and have glitter and so like you said, people are gonna come in, I want this idea. Are you turning those people away now because hey, I'm this type of artist, or are you still accepting all types of tattoos?
I'm still accepting to newer techniques that have been practiced enough to be solidated. Now,
Okay.
some of the things that you have brought up are
I like
still.
how he put that.
I know. I was like, hold on.
That was
Because
smooth. That was
because
smooth.
just some of the things that you mentioned are more of trendy right now,
Hmm.
which are still experimental. Tattooing is
Yeah.
a historical thing. It's been around for thousands of years. Like the most ancient body that they found literally had tattoos on it, like still in the bones and on the skin for like the most preserved body that they have. So tattoos have been around for thousands and thousands of years. So with that, that's why I'm just like, yeah, glow in the dark ink ain't been around that long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like so certain things you still have to experiment with,
Hmm.
end up you know what I'm saying, going through the trial and error of it. You know what I'm saying? There was a trial and error just for color ink for the
Right.
longest of how to get it just to stick into the pigment. And that's why there's still an experiment of that still building and moving on and the colors get better, more vibrant, last longer because it's trial and error. But with tattooing, it's a slow process to get to your results. It's like years and years and years of studying this because you have to see how people's tattoo age from 10 years from now from using that
Exactly.
ink, from
Hmm.
Oh
using it
wow.
20 years from now and seeing how well it held compared to the inks that they had less than 10 to 15 years ago. A lot of them don't hold as well. You know what I'm
Lay
saying? Like you can
it in it
see
and
older,
everything. Yeah.
yeah, so you
Right.
can see older tattoos and techniques, and it's not as well to the skin, or it's faded, it's dull. So throughout the years, they have only increased and made the technique of it better for it to last longer and to be more vibrant and better in the skin. So that's why I like to practice things like once I see that the technique is more locked down and it's
Right.
sufficient, and I can guarantee you the quality of work that you're looking for, then yes. But until then, I'm gonna let other people experiment to a certain amount. I didn't
So what he
experiment
said
enough.
was, "Don't bring that trendy stuff over here."
Yeah.
Unapologetically, B asked, "What advice would you give to new artists just starting out?"
New artists that's starting out in tattooing.
Yeah.
Um, be correct, study properly, know what this is that you're getting into. It's a career, it's not a job, and it's not a trend. This is a lifestyle. So understand that if you step into this, this will be something fully all the way, like this is what you're getting into. So you have to be fully dedicated to that and be able to sacrifice a lot to be able to get where you want to be. So if that's what you're ready for, that's what you need to start off with knowing what you're stepping into before getting into this. And it's going to cost you money.
Ooh, yeah, on that part, you do have to get all that material, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't forget that last part. It's gonna cost you money.
So be dedicated. That's why he
Yeah,
started
Right,
with.
yeah,
right.
yeah. Pretty much sum that up. Like, be dedicated. Make sure that this is the lane for you, because as an artist, there's so many different lanes. I know that it's trendy right now, but there's so many different lanes. Like, you can either be really raw at tattooing, you could be really cold at painting, you could be one of the next
Right.
dope painters. So it's really finding what works for you. But tattooing is a wonderful outlet to be utilized throughout that time period to get you into the lane that's probably best for you too. It is a skill that you can hone in on, spend years in on, and then be able to branch into other fields with your artwork because you're exposed through tattooing. So it can definitely work in both ways for people, but I definitely would advise that.
Yes, know that this is what you're getting to because, yeah, all I see you all day. That's why I said I'm like, I don't know how his hours work because all I see all day from morning till night, you are tattooing. So
Yeah,
I can see that your passion and, the dedication is definitely there. Do you see that you're getting more like private bookings now, or is it pretty much still like walk-ins and people just know they want to come see you?
yeah. I'm private. Well, the shop that I'm working with at this point in time is Kansas City Tattoo Club, and we just passed our 1 year anniversary.
Also,
So working with them, we are a private tattoo studio. So it's
okay.
all through email and firsthand booking, like, you know what I'm saying, through the artists of who you choose and select. So right now it was a switch up for me because throughout all of these years I've been working through walk-in like
Right.
studios and stuff like that. So to switch over to strictly private where people have to directly come to me,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? There was a little bit of a sting to the pockets at first of figuring that out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a switch over and whatnot, changing
Right.
shops, changing areas and whatnot. So all of those things like played a part in it. But it, it worked out for you, boys. So
That's
like,
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
Okay,
and
okay.
it seems like now it would be more of like almost a popularity contest as well, like when you just
it
go on these
is.
sites. So you have to like build your social media up and all that stuff now
That's
and
why I
like
started my fashion stuff up again.
okay.
Because I was just like, I got to do something extra so
Yeah.
that people just don't,
Right, right.
like, they can see me doing other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, making sure that I guess I'm putting myself out there for social media, for people to feel more
Here
relative.
we
That's
are.
the new thing. That's the new
Yeah.
thing, for people to feel more closer, like they can relate. So that's something different for me to have to get comfortable with,
Hmm.
because I like my space and privacy. So
Same.
Okay.
That's how this started. It was knowing that, yeah, we have to get out there, really showcase our businesses and like who we are. I barely even post myself, so it's like
yeah,
so I
yeah,
definitely
same.
understand that. Yeah.
Until recently, you seen them videos
Yeah.
that started. I just literally started that last month, the beginning
Hmm.
of last month, and I posted every single day for the whole last month.
Yep.
So I make sure that just to be able to pick up and put myself out there and kind of show that, like, I do other lifestyle stuff. Like, I'm definitely involved in other things, like, y'all don't get to see,
Right.
but right.
Hey, you getting
Ain't
there?
nothing
I'm
wrong with
feeling it. I'm feeling it.
that.
Davy Boy asked, "Are you good at
It's
cover-ups?" Oh yeah, do you do cover-ups?
drink. Yes,
Awesome.
I do cover ups. It took me about like half of the time period of me tattooing to get into the extent of starting to do cover-ups. I had to study that stuff for years, watch over people's shoulders, see techniques, see the best executions, figure out things that like really worked in the best manner to actually do it, and learning whether if it is capable of being covered up or not. Like those were several different things that I had to like study for a while before making the attempt of cover-ups. So, but yes, I do cover-ups. Some of my pieces on my pages are cover-ups and people don't know it because I don't put cover-up on there. So
No.
there's some like,
now I want to know. Yeah.
Not be going on there being nosy.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, let me see. No, it's awesome. Yeah, I had no idea actually. I've looked at almost all your tattoos, so I'm interested to see which ones are.
So would you change anything different? I mean, I know we
as far as
all have things that we could have worked on or did anything, but I'm just saying, like, what advice would you give somebody else being a tattoo artist, or your personal opinion or journey? Will you change anything different?
no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't change anything different. All I would say is be more in the moment and appreciate it. Appreciate what you getting throughout that time period, because it comes and goes and there's highs and lows and stuff for real. Like, so it's really a roller coaster ride with a lot of stuff, but enjoy it while it's happening. Enjoy the people that you're surrounded by. Enjoy the people that you love, like, because it's a lot of people that you get close to in this.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, he wouldn't change anything. Okay, even that hard 2 years. The hard 2 years, all them cards and
from couch hopping, being homeless, all that type of stuff. Like, I wouldn't change none of it. None of it. It like built me to where I am now, or why I'm so responsible with the way that I move now. Like, so I wouldn't change any of it because it molded me harder than what I expected myself to be.
Those hard times, yeah, seriously, those hard times really show you who you are. It really makes you trust yourself. Because you know better than anybody whether you can do it or not, right?
Yeah,
that's
every day.
But with that, can you share some of your insights into like your creative process, like when you design like your custom tattoos? So my favorite one before you start is the the music notes in the spine.
Oh, really?
Crazy.
Okay,
I love music already. I already wanted like a spine tattoo, and just the way that you molded it. But I wondered if that was like your out of the box creation. But yeah, what is your process?
Nah, that actually wasn't. That was through inspiration of my client. She gave me the idea of what it was that she kind of like seen and what she wanted to be done, and I just went off of her details, and that's how that came about. So that was actually originally her original idea. I just came up with the execution for what she ended up giving me. So
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, yeah. I was like, that's it.
Yeah,
it just flows so well.
For about like 2 years to get that done. She waited for about 2 years to get that done.
Crazy. Was that one sitting?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that was.
It didn't take too long though. Like, that literally didn't take too long. Nah, it didn't take too long at all.
Okay. Do you use numbing cream on your clients, or?
Typically, I don't like to, just because using numbing cream on people typically kind of dampers or messes with the skin. So even when it gets cold and stuff, so it makes like the delivery of like tattooing with the ink into the skin, it kind of messes it up sometimes, or makes it a little bit harder to tattoo because it hardens the skin. It kind of deadens the skin throughout the time period. So
that does make sense.
Yeah. So it can make a major effect in different areas or different ways. Sometimes I do recommend it, depending on where it is that we're tattooing or how much that we will be tattooing. But typically overall, I'm like, you're going to have to sit through this pain. So.
Oh, yes, fine, yeah.
Do you have a lot of tattoos yourself?
Yeah, I got a decent amount of tattoos. I ain't like fully covered, but I definitely got a lot of tattoos. I started getting tattooed when I was 16, so.
Wow.
Have you done any on yourself?
Yeah. I got like spider webs in the corner of my head that I did in the mirror like some years ago. I did the Chiefs arrowhead that's in the corner of my eye. Like, I got a few other things that's like on my arms and stuff. That just me trying to figure out tattooing for real during that time period. Luckily, I didn't mess up my face, but
so you just went straight for your face.
He said he don't bet on himself every time, and he don't put it right here.
You really believe in yourself. I love that. And a mirror, everything's backwards. Thank you. But yeah, can you give us some insights of your creative process though? Like when you get to just create something out of, top of your head? What does that look
Oh,
like
when I
for you?
create something off of the top of my head, it's usually built off of nostalgia, something that I
Okay.
grew up off of, inspiration from like my childhood. There's a lot of things of where like my own personal artwork inspires from. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's things that like kept me entertained or moved me or inspired me to do artwork and stuff like that. So that was one of the main things like that always consistently pushes me as far as creating my own artwork. When it comes to other people, it's genuinely asking them what it is that they want to get done.
Right, right.
But for myself, like I create from a place of like, nostalgia.
So what's your biggest inspiration then? It's like, are you a 90s kid, like cartoon?
Yeah,
Do you like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, most definitely. Like big inspiration is 90s and cartoons and stuff like that. Like for the longest. So anything from 4Kids TV, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel,
Okay,
you know what
okay.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
most definitely.
My Davey Boy said Power Rangers. Hey, that's top five
Can't
for me.
forget Power Rangers. That's the most
When
definitely.
it, yeah, ours, like when they had what was it, Dr. Ooze, that Power
Yeah,
Ranger.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
very first one. That's the very
Yes,
first one.
that Power Ranger.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So with art though, because you're all around artist, what's your biggest inspiration there? Like, is there some artist or artwork that you just saw and it's just, like that I just love that. That's the direction. That's what made this
That'll
happen.
typically be like I'm really moved by like the Renaissance artwork,
Mm,
like statues and like paintings from like that time period. So going to museums or like getting books that have like high definition
right.
photos of these like pieces and stuff like that. Like I enjoy that. That typically gives me a lot of inspiration because of the detailing that comes behind it. So
When they switched up
a lot of
to like
that just
hyper realism and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that. Okay.
How they were able to mold that stuff, and I just think it's the respect out of what it is that I'm seeing throughout that time period that kind of pushes me or inspires me because I know how much time it takes to
Right,
detail things. So when I see
right.
certain things, it's like mind blowing to me. Like so, I can definitely say like that time period. Besides my era of growing up, like the later
Right.
on art pieces and stuff. So 16th Chapel, stuff like that. All of those type of pieces, like major inspirations like consistently. I can always go back to them and still be inspired like consistently.
So from that, I gather you like art that emotes to you. Like you feel you see the emotion in
Yeah,
all of the pieces. Yeah, that's what I think of when I see Renaissance paintings and stuff too.
yeah,
It is.
yeah,
It's pure emotion in your face, and that's where art kind of changed in that time period,
yeah.
where you actually saw who the people were. So, no, I feel the same way about that time period. So, awesome. I love speaking to artists.
Right. Makes you a little bit more interesting. I can't wait till I go to this page.
Oh yeah,
With the
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, for real.
scrolls.
No, because I really like, so when I moved to Kansas City, obviously I wanted some tattoos. It was COVID or whatever when I found his page. So it was like, dang, how do I really like book at this time? But and I was just like, I never thought about this black and gray, on black skin for real. So it was interesting to see that he can make everything look the same on whatever skin color. I mean, nothing looked different. That's what really like caught my eye to your artwork. It was just like, because I don't see a lot of black tattoo artists, and especially tattoo artists who know how to tattoo on darker skin and give it that much depth. You know what I'm
Ah
saying?
yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
you
because
guys
I
have
have
everyone go
quite
to
a
stage.
bit tattoos, but I've never been tattooed by a black tattoo artist until this year. This is my little cousin.
It makes a
And
Hmm.
difference.
so, I've always got tattooed by a Mexican, or I'm
Oh, okay,
assuming he
okay.
was Mexican,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
Nah,
Yeah,
So, yeah,
that
I've
still
never.
plays into the
it's close.
role. Yeah, yeah.
But it does. Do you see that it makes a difference though? Like especially when you get like clients that look like you, and is it like this? Like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
a
okay, you
major
get it.
difference.
Okay.
Because here, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
like that just like how you said, like a lot of people aren't used to getting tattooed by too many black tattoo artists. There are more black tattoo artists in Kansas City now, but
Yeah.
when I was coming up, it wasn't that
Yeah.
many. Like you could really count who was actually official or who had actual, like, who was licensed and in shops during that time period tattooing people. So me taking the approach to knowing the difference between both skin pigments like just came naturally, because before I got into a shop, I was tattooing in the streets. So I was tattooing all the homies, tattooing my cousins, tattooing on the block, going to other people's hoods, bouncing around through hotels and apartments and stuff like that, tattooing people. So I did a lot of that already starting off before I even got into the shop. So when I got into the shop, that's what brightened my horizon towards like tattooing other pigments, such as like Caucasian people or Hispanic or, you know what I'm saying, like any other styles of skin that I was like starting to come across. Because at first all I did was tattoo black skin. So I had to learn real fast how our skin is adapting. Like,
seriously.
like extremely different. But, you know, throughout the time, like I got a lot better with it and took the craft a lot more serious of understanding. So it just only grew from there.
Okay.
That color wheel, right?
Yeah, no, seriously.
I'm glad you take pride into your work, because there's a lot of people out here that just be tattooing. They not educated. They don't educate us. And we just be letting them put the needle in our skin.
For real,
and next thing you know, that's it.
Yeah, I typically try to make sure that when I'm dealing with my clients that they are informed of like the process, like what is going on, like how to treat their skin, like their skin particularly compared to like what they're seeing online or what they may be exampled through what somebody is telling them. So I try to be as informative as I possibly can for people when they asking for, or when they get work done by me.
No, that's very important, because like you said, especially when it was just the walk-in type of tattoo style, like no one, you know, it was in and out. You want to make your money. You never know when you're gonna get the next client, or whoever is tattooing you is gonna get their next client. So yeah, you getting whatever. You hope it looks like that book that they showed you, or something completely different. For real. Man, I remember I went in somewhere and like I saw that he only did like old American style. I wanted something small, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I saw someone else went before me, and I was like,
American traditional.
Yeah, and I was just like, there's a difference. Yeah, you can't just go to anybody.
Major difference. Nah, I mean, there's always different styles to tattooing as well. So that was another thing too. It's a little bit more broad for people to see different styles and approaches. Over the years, it wasn't as exposed unless you bought like tattoo magazines or you went to tattoo conventions back in the day. So over the time period, it has grown majorly, once again, just because of, like how I said, the internet. So like the internet is a major part of like how big tattooing has got to this extent at this point in time now.
Right. I agree. Have you
been
to a tattoo convention before?
Yes. I've been to plenty. Been to some, almost every other year for the past few years, for at least about like 4 years. Been going to conventions like strongly, at least hitting like 1 or 2 a year, if not more.
Okay.
Yeah, so pure dedication to the craft. I love that. Because the competition thing, you know, you already have clients, so it's like, but I guess now, like you said, it's also staying relevant and have to be out there.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah. Staying relevant, staying in the people's faces, letting people know that you're actually active. You know, all of those things make a difference.
Cartel Styles, Walt is dope. I would get tatted by him.
That's my boy.
I'm trying to get on those books too. I just don't know what I want yet. But no, that's awesome. But
yeah, whatever y'all figure out, just let me know. We'll make it happen.
Seriously. I want something big. That's why when I saw your full back, and I was just like, that seems like it's right up my alley, though.
Right. Be start laughing.
But I know tattoo artistry often involves like deeply personal and meaningful experiences for clients. What's like the most meaningful experience that you remember, or a tattoo that just won't like leave your mind? It was that memorable.
Oh man, one of the most meaningful pieces that I know of, I have a client where I tattooed her nephew's wrestling shoes, like, because he ended up passing, and I tattooed his wrestling shoes on him and stuff like that. So that was like a real meaningful one, because it was like all lined up. He had just like recently passed, his funeral had just happened and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So he was like straight A student, like high, you know what I'm saying, high grades, like performance, like one of the best wrestlers on the team and stuff like that. So I don't know, like that was a really emotional, I guess, like piece or time period for me from when I remember how her story just came about and to put that piece together for her. So that's when it like really made a difference or struck a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, that's those type of tattoos
Oh
are when they're,
man.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like when it's something that's really deep and stuff like that. Like I have my cancer ribbon on there, and just telling her that story and how meaningful it was for me to get it. My brother and I,
Yeah,
we got matching tattoos, but you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. It's just like this is, yeah, a
yeah,
permanent symbol. So yeah, for you to be a part of stuff like that is beautiful. And you're
yeah, that
creating it
part.
pretty much. Yeah. So
Yeah, that part of this is like throughout my downs, like and my lower points, like tattooing people like that is what made me feel like that this was a part of my purpose of
mm,
what I'm doing, and didn't make me question it too much at time periods when I was questioning it. It kind of got me
right.
back like where I needed to be. So those moments like that are a lot more dear to me because sometimes I'm a little bit off or like discouraged through like how things are going and stuff like that, but then I end up tattooing somebody like that and realize like how much that one simple day like changed or meant something for them, or maybe like help their mood, help them express like what they were going through. So those time periods, like that actually is a feeling better than money for real. Like
Yeah, for sure.
getting that type of like recognition to help somebody throughout a time period when they down.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Connecting them and giving them that
Mm-hmm.
piece of, you know, what connection back. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. That you get to be a part of that. I love that.
That's a blessing.
But with you staying on top of trends and stuff, what changes do you see on the horizon? And like, how do you plan on staying ahead of all of this craziness now? Like, we talked a little bit about all the trendy stuff, but how do you stay ahead of that?
Ahead of it is she adapting and adjusting,
Mm.
like understanding that it's here and it's gonna stay longer than what people like expect. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's a transition. People typically don't like change and dramatic
yeah,
change, but that's typically how it's happening right now. As
that's,
fast as the internet
yeah,
moves, like you have to be adaptable to like what's going on. So that's the thing. Just as long as you're capable of adapting, that's how I kind of stay up above it. Sometimes it's a little struggle because you know what I'm saying, I'm not really necessarily stuck in my ways, but I'm stuck in my way of living.
yeah,
So like for real, like
yeah,
so it's just like I don't like to switch certain things, especially when I prefer for like certain things in my lifestyle to be private. But I realize that that's not really a thing now with like being, you know what I'm saying, a
Mhm.
personal business owner, a small business owner and stuff like that. It don't work like that.
You are selling you first and helping people feel like they can relate to that. And
Right.
then they choose your service. Yes.
Yeah, now. Yeah. Yeah,
So
now.
yeah,
So
that's the hard part. I'm like, no, I'm a great person. Just get to know me. No, let me know you first.
yeah. I mean, people like to get dressed nicely. People like to look nice, so that's why I put that out there. Like, if you want to get tattooed by a nice dressing tattoo
Hmm.
artist, you can come over here.
Knowing
Like,
I got
that makes you
style,
feel more
right?
comfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
yeah, you are selling your persona and your style, right? Because that's what I'm buying into. Like, I want to be, you know, the dude that's fresh. Yeah, like I want to be like
Right.
the
And
rapper that
people
he
want your
tattoos.
customers, your clientele want to be in tune with you. They want to feel close, like they know you. You
Yeah.
Which
know.
I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a fan.
And the more money they spend, because they just, like you said, just that one conversation or just you making them feel like they just the most important person in the world, they
Yeah.
gonna keep coming back.
Yeah. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Just giving people space and time to be able to express themselves. Some people don't never have nobody to talk to. So
True.
sitting down with us and getting tattooed by tattoo artists is almost like sitting in a barbershop chair sometimes.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Or a beauty salon or like your therapist room, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, there's a
people
lot of hours.
people yeah, people will end up, you know what I'm saying, spilling a lot if it's on
Mhm.
their mind and they feel comfortable enough to.
What's the
I don't know what
longest?
I was saying, getting
I
my
know.
tattoo, but I wasn't spilling out my
I'm one of those people. I get tired. I was ready to go to sleep when I got my last tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like the
Endorphins, right?
sound of the gun. Yeah, something. I just get very mellowed out, and it's just time for
Oh,
me
it's
to sleep.
therapeutic for you.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
therapeutic for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
be chilling. I hear that little buzzing
I got
going.
my
I know
last
I need to
one on
relax my
my
skin.
hand, and it hurt
Oh yeah,
real
no.
bad getting it on my hand.
Yeah,
But I
Oh, you
anywhere
want
around
got your hand.
a
my
foot
body.
tattoo, but I don't like pain.
You don't like pain?
No.
He said, Well, don't
That's a
come over here then.
confliction.
Well, you don't want his tattoos then because it looks
No, I'm
like
actually very
every
light. I'm
dot.
actually very light. I'm
Are you?
actually
Is that one of the comments that you get, or are you just making that up?
Yeah, no, no, no. That's literally what I get. Like that's an extreme attribute, like
Cool.
towards the style that I choose to
Mhm.
use. So it's a little bit softer approach of like entering the skin
Okay.
rather than like a rough, like hard pull lining. I'm kind of like stacking it in there lightly. So
Mm.
it's a softer build up into the skin. So the approach isn't as like edgy or painful as people would think it
You're not
is.
digging in over and over, like over the same spot. Yeah.
I
So
mean, I am, but it's
yeah.
just a softer technique at the skin to where it
Uh,
doesn't feel like it's as painful and
we're gonna
whatnot.
find out.
We
I'm gonna let you
will.
know.
That we will.
I'm I'm like, now
And yeah,
you
we're gonna have
said
to
that this is
straighten
gonna be
him out.
self.
Like I said, I do want another tattoo, but I want it done. I ain't gonna say right, no shade to the tattoo artist I've been going to, but I want to get it done right.
It's understandable.
I said
Understandable.
what I said.
So you're also transitioning to the professional tattoo as well, because you've always had that at home. Okay.
Yeah, that makes a difference too.
Hmm.
Definitely a difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only gone to a shop because it's permanent. You guys are very brave. Like you tattooing your own face because you were learning. That was not smart. I know your mom yelled at you a lot. That's why you said your mom didn't raise no quitter because
Yeah, like my
I
mom, man. Look, my mom didn't even know for the longest that I had tattoos. Like I hid my tattoos pretty
know. Oh
well. So
man.
I had like, I probably had about like, if I'm correct, I had about like 6 or 7 tattoos before she realized that
Oh
I had more.
wow.
So like, yeah, I had a few, but don't get that twisted. I was getting tattooed a lot when I first started. Like, so when I first got my first tattoo, I got a second tattoo in that same week. So it was just
Oh,
like, it was
so
like
you were
I was on it
just
back to back to back.
yeah.
Like it wasn't no game.
Vision of Fashion stated, I have a special tattoo I'd like to get, but what advice does he have for a 65-year-old? Oh yeah, with the skin, is that different or?
Yes, the skin is different. It depends on the texture of your skin. I've dealt with older skin that is a lot more thinner, which tends to happen. So their skin gets a lot more thinner, which makes it a lot easier to cut
Mm.
or cut into and damage the skin. So it's a softer effect, but if their skin is still pretty healthy throughout that time period, very rich, still absorbing and whatnot, then there's no struggle. It's really off the factor of your health of your skin.
And
So drink
what
your water.
kind of tattoo you trying to get? Vision of fashion.
That's my mom.
What special tattoo do you have in mind, lady?
All of our names, all
Oh,
7 of
that's
our
your
names.
mom? Like,
Yeah, that's our mom. Yeah. Vision of Fashion. Yeah, she still looks like us, so I'm sure
oh
that's why
well,
she's
yeah,
trying to get
that's
a
all good.
tattoo. Like,
She's
yeah,
I'm
young.
trying
don't
to
try
figure
to
it out.
don't try to get any leopard prints. He doesn't do that, okay?
See with the
But
leopard print.
right, but drink your water. I'm sure that has a lot to do with
Yeah.
it as your skin ages as well,
Yep.
because hydration and stuff like that. I know one tattoo I went to get
And
my wrist
tanning.
tattoo actually was the worst. Oh yeah, well, you know, melanin, but don't
Yeah.
yeah, don't be outside still. Wear sunblock still. But yeah, the worst one I had was on my wrist because like I think I was just dehydrated at the time or something and it hurt way more than usual. So
Did you pass
it does.
out?
No, but like I wanted him to stop. Like I never felt like that before. And he had just got like right here where my bone is, or where my M is right
Oh yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. That's natural. I just want you to know that that's just a painful area, just in general. Like on that wrist area where you're at. Yeah, that's a highly
Baby.
sensitive area.
It looked like hamburger meat after it was yeah. But I was dehydrated too. You could see my skin was just like kind of pulling and all that. Like, but yeah, it hurt. That was the worst one. Like
It's
Somebody
just
don't
the
find
worst.
an angle barbed wire.
barbed wire, girl. This is not 1992. You're not getting it.
I'm
She's trying to
not
get a
even
Look,
tribal.
gonna play with
hey, with
her.
the new style and techniques and how to make barbed wire look, you know what I'm saying? It can be refreshing. We ain't got to make it look like that old school
Well,
style, but
try
you
it
can definitely.
out. Why do you want
Yeah.
barbed wire? But we'll figure that out later. But, but before we let you go, I know we have a few minutes left. I just want to plug you and let everyone know where they can find you and book with you as well. So if you'd like to give everybody your information so that they can go to your page, follow you, and book, of course.
Okay. My Instagram is Walt_Dubbie. My contact to be able to book with me is through KansasCityTattooClub.com, and then go through there and you'll end up selecting my name and then go from there to filling out the email. If you want to do it directly, it'll just be Walt Dubbie Inc. at gmail.com.
You guys got it. We will also put that
Same on
on
Facebook.
all of the platforms. Yes. Oh yeah, Walt_Dubbie on Facebook as well. We'll be tagging that on the video. This is going to be available, of course, here, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google,
Apple Music,
Oh, you did
Instagram,
good.
yeah,
Facebook.
worldwide. So yes, you guys tune in and definitely follow him. Thank you, Walt, again for joining us. I know we had to reschedule because I'm bad with time frames.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for rescheduling. Thank you.
Don't
No,
just
no.
follow him, book him.
Right.
Watch this live. Check the page out and book him. Everybody, I want everybody to book
Yes.
him.
I appreciate
Yes, and we will be tagging him as well. But thank you guys so much for joining episode 13 of Sister Soul Sessions. This is a place where we're elevating entrepreneurs one soulful conversation at a time. So if you guys don't have anything else, that ends our episode.
That would be
Nice to
it.
meet
I appreciate you
you.
guys.
No,